Alrighty, welcome ladies and gentlemen to an episode of Smite Super Builds, and today we have Odin. I was going to do both Odin and Arachne uploads today, but that's not going to happen. Arachne will be tomorrow, Friday, 24 hours from now, what do you want to call it. So look forward to that. So this is a Bruiser build for Odin, since he is a warrior, kind of makes sense. And now a full damage build for Odin, I wouldn't really recommend it because you're probably going to end up dying from mages in your ulti. So, yeah, now a full tank, full support mode Odin, that could very well work, and you still have some decent damage going off as well because of your 1 and 2 at its current state is doing a lot of burst damage, and then also your passive, you gain plus 50 power. So speaking of passives, this build right now, how I have Odin right now, I have all the passives on. I have my full plus 50 power passive from my passive, and then I have the 10 stacks from the Eye of the Urchin. So there we go. Bruiser build, let's go on. Another note is you don't have to use this build because there's a lot of different situations in Smite, so you just address accordingly. Use items that kind of adapt to your style of gameplay and who you're fighting against, so just keep that in mind. Warrior Tabby, because we are a warrior and we need our warrior boots for our warrior feet. Moving along, Eye of the Urchin, getting this early, I highly recommend it because building stacks for this can be a little tedious, especially if it's a slow match, so you definitely want to get this early so you get the stacks quickly as possible. Eye of the Urchin is also great for boosters because it gives you so much protections that you can use another item slots for power instead of protections. Right on. Next, Shifter's Shield. It's a kind of expensive item, but I think it's really beautiful in its ways because of the passive. While over half of your HP, you gain 20 physical protections. Typically, when you go into a team fight, you're not going in half of your HP or lower. If you are, damn dude. But typically, you go over. You have over 50% of your health, so you're going to gain that plus 20 physical protection. So you're going to go in with 60 physical power from this one item. So you're going to have a good amount of damage to complement your 1 and 2 combination. So much burst damage on Odin. Now, once you drop below 50% health, most likely in your ulti, you're going to gain plus 20 protections for both physical and magical. So you're going to be a little bit more tanky, so you can have some time to respond, just be tanky overall so you can escape and live. So that's what's cool about Shifter's Shield on Odin. Moving along, magical defense items you kind of need it on Odin because, well, first, if you're not fighting any magical gods, don't get magical defense items. But if you're fighting, a balanced team, yes. Or if you're fighting all magical gods, yes, you definitely want to have magical defense items. So good magical defense items will be Bark of Hope, Sonagaya, obviously, go to Enhanced Buckler, and these 2 items, I'm not sure about Ansel. I mean, you can't pick it up in Assault, so let's just look at those 4 items now. I didn't mention Pestilence because you do not need Pestilence at all because your ulti will reduce healing by 100%, unless if that gets nerfed or for whatever reason, you don't need Pestilence at all. So just keep that in mind. But the combination of magical defense items I'm going to go with in this build is Stone of Guile and Shield of Regrowth because they kind of complement each other with the massive stacks of the passive. All the HP 5 is here in these 2 magical defense items. So you see that in a second. Runeforge Hammer, it's a really cheap item to get pretty good stats. So 55 physical protection, a lot of health, and all your physical protections from this build, 15% of it is converted into physical power. So especially if you're fighting like all physical gods, get all physical defense items. Typically, if you're going that route, and then buy a Runeforge Hammer, and then boom, you can have a decent amount of power to complement all that physical defense you have there. And then of course, Shield of Regrowth, a lot of protections, and you also get power. So there's some other good items as well. If you feel like you need more CC immunity, Maddie's Blessings, but you are like half CC immune during your ulti, so you might not need that at all. Good physical defense items I would also recommend will be Mystical Mail. Reason being is you get a lot of use out of the passive aura effect. So when you use your ulti, everybody in there is going to get hit with Mystical Mail. So 40 magical damage per second is just constantly ticking for that 5 seconds when they're in your ulti. So that adds on to your damage overall. It's a really great item for that case. Of course, if you're going like full on support, Sovereignty is the way to go for that as well. Also, where is it? Frostbound Hammer. If you feel like you need to slow your enemies more, Frostbound Hammer is the way to go. So you can use your 3, slow them by 40%, and then boom, Frostbound Hammer on your next basic attack. Then they're slowed by another 30%. So if you need that, there you go. Actives. If you feel like you need even more slows or anything for your ulti, I'm kind of looking at get a creeping curse or feebling or weakening curse. Just get one of those curses. So when you pop down your ulti, you can use this, and everybody in your ulti is getting slowed down. So you can have a little bit more control in the team fight that's going down in your ulti now. Our stats right now, we're looking pretty good overall as like a bruiser, right? We have 197 physical power, not too bad. 211 physical defense, 258 magical defense. So overall, we're sitting about at the 200s. I didn't mean to hit that, but whatever. Boom, burst damage, a quarter of Raw's HP is already gone. Use our 3, of course, that does little damage, but knocks him down to half. Our basic in-hand attacks are looking at 189, 189, and then 284. He does have a 4-hit attack progression, it seems. Now, let's let Raw hit us. He's going to blind us, so I'm going to look away. Okay, so if you're looking down at my HP bar, it's going up. Of course, this is Rawbot. It's not against a real god, a real player. I would hope would do more damage than Rawbot. But just just looking at the HP 5, that's a lot of HP 5. You have a lot of sustain with this build. Up to 123 HP 5 with the Shield of Regrowth passive going on. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more damage here. So, not too bad. Not too bad overall as far as damage, or damage is definitely there. Of course, this against raw boss, so damage numbers are a little bit different against real people. So, overall, that's the build. HP sitting at 276. Or 2,760. Wow. The perks of recording early in the morning. So, that's going to wrap it up for the video. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section below, and I see you guys next time. Peace.